That was a look into your early years and how you got into songwriting and things like that. So now on to Church of Eon.
Oh yes. Well,
how did the band come together?
Well, it was a strange one really, because I set up my own studio, and once that was set up, I was obviously writing a lot of stuff, and I had all these songs. And Lee Morrell from the band, who's always been a good friend, he came up and put some drums, and then we thought, well, hang on, what would be a really good idea is to record an album. And then we thought, well, actually, if we're going to have an album, we ought to have a band.
Sounds good.
And then suddenly it just mushroomed, the whole thing, and you know, we were doing lots of recording. Then we contacted Derry Page, who was an old cohort of ours, and who had played in a band we'd done many years ago called Perfumer.
Uh-huh.
And but you know, we were friends anyhow, and then so suddenly it's like we had a guitarist, a singer. Well, a guitarist, singer, a bass player, a drummer, and a recording studio, and it
Fantastic.
suddenly felt like, wow, we can do this. And then basically, you know, further down the line, we needed to have a keyboard player, and we basically ended up like a strange kind of process. We ended up with the perfect keyboard player, with Simon Godfrey.
Fantastic.
And I mean, Simon was a friend of Lee's wife, and then, but we just kind of met up, and it wasn't on the agenda, and then suddenly it just went from one thing to another, and we ended up with, you know, the perfect, you know, member that we needed. And from there on, you know, the band at full strength is just going from strength to strength. And I mean, it's an absolute joy for me, the Church of Eon. It's like, this is what I should have always been doing. And you know.
So how did you come up with the name?
Haha, yeah, well. It's a misspent youth, you know. Anyhow, no, I used to go to North Wales a lot, right. And with an old mate of mine, and anyhow, I used to go and collect the magic mushrooms and things, and in the autumn.
Harvest.
Yeah, and this particular time, I took some magic mushrooms, and I could just hear this pulse going through my head, and it sounded like the word Eon being repeated. Yeah. And then there was, well, but I mean, North Wales is absolutely beautiful. Went for a walk over, you know, down to a lake, and there was mountains everywhere, and I could just feel this Eon thing. And basically, what it felt was that I was hearing the pulse of everything. And I don't know. I still think I was hearing and feeling something that I don't normally feel or see. And I won't be the first person to say that. And it was quite an extraordinary thing. And when I got back from that trip, I did a demo of the track Eon, which is on the album. And that was quite a long time ago. I just did it on a little 4-track machine that I had at the time.
Wow.
And but I heard it in my, I heard the track in my head that afternoon, and then I went home after the trip and I recorded it.
Wow.
And well, people that know the album now, you know what a stonking track it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, obviously we re-recorded it, and but it's something that means quite a lot, because it was a connection that I felt that I had to something that's there that people don't see or hear, and it was just a window into something, you know. Because let's face it, you know, what on earth what do we all know? Nothing in the scheme of things. And I just felt I had a little window into something else,
of which was Eon.
Which was Eon, and that's what this band is about. This is, you know, the sound of the pulse of everything. I mean, it's our kind of tagline, but it's true.
Yeah,
it is the sound of the pulse of everything, and I like to think that we don't sound like anyone else.
Yeah,
and it is born from the sound of the pulse of everything.
Hence the name, Church of Eon.
Hence the name.
Came from that track.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story. Yeah, and it's and it's still, for me, is a legitimate kind of thing. I mean, that's, you know, it's not just someone getting out of their heads on drugs. You know, getting out of their head on drugs. It was a real experience.
Yeah, yeah.
And
wow. Well, if it wasn't for that experience, there wouldn't be Church of Eon, would there? Really?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, how did you go about selecting the songs from the album All Our Tomorrows?
Well, I mean, that's strange. I mean, I'm quite brutal when I'm writing songs. If I think I've got an idea that isn't working, I throw it out the window, kind of thing.
Oh, you don't put it to a side. You just literally that's it.
Reject it.
All right. Okay.
So every song that I write, that I keep, I think is good. So basically, it's just the songs that I wrote that I kept.
Wow. Did you sort of like obviously re-enhance them, or?
Oh, I mean, that obviously they were recorded. I mean, I did demos of them all, and then we recorded them properly.
Once the band just got together, we then
but then we all did it, and we all put our little stamp on it. But in terms of I'm talking about the demos, not
absolutely.
not the final thing.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, when I was writing the songs, I mean, if I decide it's a keeper, it will be on the album. Yeah. Kind of thing, because, you know, I'd like to think if I don't know what I'm talking about by now, I never will.
So what's your favourite track then from the album? And what's it mean to you as well?
Happy is my favourite track.
Okay.
It's always been the one that I felt was the strongest track, and I'm sure loads of people would disagree. But for me, it sums up my distaste for what generally seems to be going on in the world. You know, it's just people being led by a lot of old rubbish, and people need to just get real. You know, it's, you know, advertising companies, you know, my God, you know, come the revolution.
It's a great track. It's a great track, and I have to say, it's one of you got a video that goes with it as well.
And the other thing that I love about Happy is if people don't really listen to it, they think it's just a song about being happy. And it is the most scathing song on the album, and it sounds like it's the happiest. And I think that, I mean, for me, I think my work is done. So please, people, just look a little bit deeper.
Definitely, yeah. And watch the videos.
Yeah.
So some people have said that the sound is a bit like, maybe sort of like Stranglers, maybe a bit Killing Joke. I mean, how would you describe Church of Eon, especially for people who haven't probably heard of it yet?
Well, I would say, I mean, if people are comparing us to, say, bands like them, the thing with Killing Joke and the Stranglers, they are very edgy bands, but they're commercial.
Yes,
and that is what Church of Eon is. It's like we're not compromising with our message or our sound, but you can't help but like it. Yeah, and that's what commerciality is.
Very catchy with great hooks.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, and that's I mean, the thing is, it's like for me, I'm not writing songs for a little kind of tiny niche of people.
Yeah.
I want everyone to like
Yeah.
the songs I write and the songs that the Church of Eon play. I don't. I'm not into kind of, you know, it's got to be steampunk or I don't know, whatever genre. You know, I'm not into all. It's music, and I want everyone to like it. And I mean everyone. That's what my aim is. Okay. It's pie in the sky. Of course, everyone's not going to like it, but that's what my aim is.
Yeah.
And I think and it's an admirable aim, because I think, you know, people need to be brought together as well. I mean, all these kind of ridiculous kind of, I don't know, tribes. You know, it's like if everyone listened to the kind of thing that we're doing, then maybe people might understand a bit more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
so there's a word out there.
They'd look a bit deeper, and they'd hear the message, and maybe they'd connect with the message.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so there's a word out there for people. If you've not heard of Church of Eon yet, you need to look it up. I mean, you've got the album out, and it's out on digital downloads and things like that. So.
And I mean, yeah, in Europe we've got distribution on the album, so I mean you can get it in your record shops or whatever. But you know, we've got our website, churchofeon.com, and obviously the Facebook page. So please, you know, anyone out there that's interested, you know, get on the website, churchofeon.com. You know, get involved. I mean, we'd love to have you aboard. You know, it's like, let's all go forward together and let's make this happen.